Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys some major news for Boruto Chapter 79. We have brand new spoilers coming courtesy of both Abdul as well as Luna over on Twitter. And I gotta say right now, this chapter absolutely changes Boruto's time skip in a way to where the one thing I was absolutely certain was not gonna happen actually happened. So I'm gonna eat my crow right now because I totally did not believe we were gonna get Rogue Ninja Boruto. However, the way that this is done, it actually makes Rogue Ninja Boruto make a lot of sense right now. And I'm loving this continued parallel that Boruto is going to have with Sasuke. It's kind of fitting just given the fact that Boruto wants to inherit Sasuke's ninja way. He wants to be the Shadow Hokage, and Boruto's going to have to leave the village just like Sasuke did. And just like Sasuke, Boruto's leaving the village under the pretense of a lie, albeit it's different circumstances. So with my initial thoughts out of the way, we're going to go over some of the spoilers that really grabbed my attention. This is not the full chapter as always, but we're going to go over what grabbed my attention. And then when the full chapter comes out officially on Sunday, but OP Scans might be posting the chapter on Thursday or Friday. Whenever the chapter comes out, I will go ahead and review it. So make sure to keep notifications turned on because that chapter review can be coming as early as tomorrow and as late as the 19th. So jumping right into it, man, essentially Ada is showing exactly why Jigen was so afraid of her, because we knew that this girl was hiding other power. That much was obvious from the way that she was looking at Code saying, wouldn't that be interesting, when he's asking what other powers she's got. And about 10 chapters later, we find out that she can fly. Well, she also has another power that has worldwide effects. Ada ain't just Makima when it comes to control. Ada can basically do what Tsukishima did in the Bleach manga, which is basically rewrite the past and change the perception of the past for all the people who have been affected by it. However, with Ada, it's not just the people who are in her immediate vicinity. We get a shot of the entire planet being engulfed by this chakra ring that is coming as an effect of Ada's jutsu, which means that everybody now believes that Boruto's not only a rogue ninja, but Boruto is no longer the son of the 7th Hokage. The 7th Hokage's son is actually Kawaki. All of those horror movies that show like the creepy adopted child who comes in and tries to kill the real natural born child of the parents that adopted him and tries to replace them, Kawaki literally did this. It's taken that obsession to an absolute different level here. And I gotta say, this is good for tension and for conflict. And it really makes you look back at what we got early on when Naruto was looking at Boruto and he was talking to Sasuke and he's like, yeah, his clothes are brand new. He doesn't really understand what it means to be a shinobi, and Sasuke is making the bet like the heart of the shinobi is always going to be the same no matter what era we're in. And Boruto was asking Naruto, tell me more about your story. Boruto's really about to learn what it means to have everybody hate him. And this is actually taking a step further because Naruto was being hunted by the Akatsuki, but he was not being hunted by his actual village. That's what Boruto's going through. In the blink of an eye, his entire life has been absolutely changed. Now, what's interesting here is that we also have a moment where we see everybody that's affected by it, and it looks like Sasuke might be affected because everybody is lined up on the other side of Boruto after Ada does this, and Sasuke's over there. So we could be seeing Sasuke versus Boruto, and that is going to be interesting because this is different than what we got before. This is not Borushiki versus Sasuke. That's not going to be what we get most likely. It looks like we're actually going to get Sasuke attacking Boruto, and Boruto is probably gonna have some kind of a mental nerf right now because he looks up to and he adores Sasuke, and that's gonna be so interesting when you look at what this does for Boruto's character. Boruto Uzumaki is a character who always put the wants and needs of his friends first. Those same friends are now turning against him. Now, the whole reason why this takes place is Ada's watching as Shikamaru sends all these shinobi after Kawaki. Sasuke and Konoha are operating under a two-man team, and they're trying to hunt down Kawaki. And you got Ada, she just gets up as she sees that Kawaki is indeed running low on chakra to the point where he's barely able to stand up. Ada just immediately takes off flying towards him, and we get another revelation about Damon. For as strong as Damon is, he can't actually fly. So that's interesting. So Ada has the ability of flight, but Damon doesn't have it, which that makes sense. For as overpowered as Damon is, he doesn't necessarily need to actually fly. Now, the next thing that we get out of these spoilers to grab my attention is that Ada makes a beeline over towards Kawaki, and as they start talking, Kawaki's just going on about how he wants to protect Naruto and how people don't understand this, and he talks about how he wants Boruto to understand what it feels like to be an outsider, how he wants to be in Boruto's place. And that's interesting for a really big reason, because if you go back to when Naruto was first sealed away by Jigen, Sarada and Kawaki had that conversation. Sarada said, that's just how the 7th Hokage is. He treats everybody in the village like family. But there were times where I was jealous of Boruto, and I often wonder what it would be like if the 7th Hokage was my father, which is a side note. If you want to know what that's like, check out my What If Naruto Married Sakura video. However, Sarada never made a wish for anything like this. Kawaki unintendedly, or maybe purposely, there's a lot we don't know about the chapter yet as of this recording, but Kawaki makes that wish to Ada, and when Ada grants that wish, it affects the entire planet. And what's really crazy about this is that, again, Ada is rewriting the history of the entire world, and Momoshiki's like, yeah, that Shinjutsu stuff, that's Shinjutsu right there. That is a god's power, which that really makes you wonder, what other abilities does Ada have? Because she and Code and Damon, the DNA that was used as a binding agent for them is not the same with the other car inner members. The other car inner members, the ninja tech that was put inside of their bodies, the binding agents were Hashirama cells. I've talked about that in detail in a couple of videos, but for Ada and Damon and Code, their abilities are Shinjutsu abilities. They got Shibai's DNA transplanted into them so they can use those abilities, which makes me look at Ada and say, what other power does she have? That's going to be huge right there. But what we can see from this is that Ada appears to be absolutely exhausted, which makes sense just given the wide scale of the nature of her jutsu. And the last spoiler that I want to talk about here, because again, we don't have full context on this, but the last spoiler I want to talk about is that it looks like everybody who said that Boruto was the one that Mitsuki and Team 10 were hunting down, it looks like you're correct, because Mitsuki is attacking Boruto, and Mitsuki is going straight into a stage transformation. He's using those ethereal snakes. Boruto's having to dodge, and that's kind of impressive. Boruto's doing it in base and getting around those attacks, and Mitsuki is clearly bloodlusted. But this is very interesting. We don't know if Sarada's affected by it. I've seen some people say Sarada's not affected. I've not seen full spoilers yet because they're not out right now. This is literally, as of this recording, all that we have. So I'm going to be very curious to see how this goes, but it looks like going into the time skip, we're going to have Boruto walking the path of a rogue ninja, and because this is a global jutsu, that's going to be very telling right there, because there's no place safe for Boruto. Now he's got that scar over his eye, which is going to make him very identifiable. I cannot wait to see where this is going. Again, we don't have the full spoilers. When we do, I will come back with another video. There are a lot of questions that we need answers to, like for instance, what's going to go on with Himawari, because you got to believe that Boruto would not leave the village without making sure that his little sister's okay. But given the fact that she's not even going to remember Boruto as being her blood brother, that's going to be very telling. The idea that Boruto is going to end up having to face his master Sasuke because Sasuke's out there looking for him, that is a very intriguing plot twist right here. And I think it's interesting in the fact that Kawaki flat out said that like Momoshiki's a problem and Boruto's dangerous because of that, but because Boruto's a Hokage's son, nobody will actually turn a sword up against him. And so Ada's opened the door for that. The big thing here though is if Sarada and Sasuke are immune, Boruto at least has allies. If it's just Sarada who's immune because it looks like Sasuke's been captivated under that spell based off of the paneling, then that means that we can kiss any Boruto's gonna get trained by Sasuke thing, and I'll make a video on that because I'm actually okay with the whole idea that Sasuke's not going to train Boruto during this time skip. I'm okay with it, and I think this plot twist is a good way to segue into us not having that be a reality. If OP Scans ends up uploading the actual chapter like they were saying on either tomorrow or Friday, then you can expect the review whatever day they upload that. However, my question to you guys is, how do you guys feel about this twist for Rogue Ninja Boruto, and how do you feel about us finally getting the confirmation that Ada was going to join Kawaki? While you think that over, click here to watch my Chainsaw Man chapter 123 review on KRYPTONIAN SAIYAN.